move on to a bit of Daytona 500 news, because we thought that maybe the entry list would kind of start to wind down and we would have a little less announcements, but we have a couple more, as Jamie McMurray will be running. He will be running not as an open entry. He will be actually in the race this year. He'll be running for Spire Motorsports with the backing of Chip Ganassi Racing. It's going to be basically a third Chip Ganassi car, but it's just going to be under the Spire Motorsports banner. He'll be driving the number 77. So Justin Haley did not get this ride for the Daytona 500. McMurray takes a year off last year, does come back again this year. So obviously great to have Jamie McMurray back in the stock car here for NASCAR's biggest race to open the season. Obviously does work with Fox Sports now, but he is taking, I guess, a weekend off from his day job to come and entertain us here in the 77, which is no slouch on the super speedways as well. McMurray is a great super speedway racer, former Daytona 500 winner back in 2010, and probably his greatest season on record, where he won I believe it was the Indy 500 as well. The Brickyard 400. Sorry, my bad. We've been talking so much about the Indy 500 lately. It has kind of scrambled my brain out. But an interesting note that Jamie McMurray will be running in the Daytona 500. Ty Dillon will also be attempting to run the Daytona 500 for Gaunt Brothers Racing in the number 96. Daniel Suarez's former car last season that did not make the 500, and probably the biggest storyline there for the open entry cars. This one will be also an open entry for Gaunt Brothers this year. So Ty Dillon will have to race his way into the 500 this season after being secure for so many seasons in the number 13. He will not have that. That will not be the case for him this time around. So some interesting two names there. Ty Dillon, we've been waiting for some sort of news on him over the past couple of months, with Germain Racing selling its charter and departing the sport entirely. That left Ty Dillon on the sidelines. And this is not a full-time deal by any means. It is just a one-off race. It seems they're trying to put some other races together, but it seems like Ty Dillon, if he is going to be running at any capacity this season other than the 500, it will be just scarcely placed throughout the season at select races. So your thoughts on McMurray and Ty Dillon?
Yeah, the McMurray one, we've seen it the last couple of seasons with Chip Ganassi kind of taking the Spire entry and basically making it a third Chip Ganassi entry. We've seen it with McMurray in the past, previously the last couple of years with Ross Chastain as well. Obviously, Chastain is now with the main team, so they don't need it for him anymore. It's great to see Jamie McMurray back, though, especially for the big race, the Daytona 500. It's always fun to see some former drivers that are no longer doing full seasons come back for the one-off. And especially somebody like McMurray, who has always been a very, very strong super speedway racer. So that's going to be fun to see. And it's adding another competitive car as well, because Spire normally would be a pretty mediocre entry, even for a super speedway race. But having that Chip Ganassi alliance there for that entry at least is going to be fun to see, because we've seen in the past, like Ross Chastain has been up in the mix in the 77 when they've had that Chip Ganassi alliance. And maybe even that bleeds over to Corey LaJoie's entry in the number 7 this year as well. That would be fun to see him have a decent ride to start the year. And for Ty Dillon, it's good to see him land on his feet. It's good to see him get at least a ride to start the year. We don't know how long it'll be, if it'll be just for basically the first couple races of the year, or if it'll turn into something more. I hope that it turns into something more for him.
Yeah.
But it seems like he won't be running the full season in any series, which is a bit unfortunate. But at least starting the year with a shot to make the 500 is always a good way to start.
Yeah, we do know who RCR's favorite grandchild is now after all of these festivities over the off season. It's unfortunate for Ty Dillon. He has showed promise here and there. Not as much as Austin for sure, up through the ranks. Dillon, obviously a nationwide series champion when the series was named that, was very good in the truck series as well. So he's done quite a bit of damage in the lower ranks and has come up this season and had his best season on record in 2020. So Ty Dillon looking for some sort of a ride here for the remainder of the season after the 500. Hopefully he can put something together. If it's just on a part-time basis, we would like to see him on the track as much as possible. But McMurray is definitely one to keep your eye on the 500. A little bit of a sleeper, not by any means he's going to go out there and win the race. There is definitely a shot, but he's no favorite. But you never know at the 500. It is a crazy race, and McMurray does put himself in good positions most of the time on these super speedway tracks.